Do you ever find yourself saying yes to something you don't want to do because you're secretly hoping that this time, that this yes will be the one where they finally see you, see how much you do for them, see how dependent they are on you, and decide to reciprocate? Because if that's you, then I have news for you. If you're new here, hello, I'm Niamh, and I am a women's confidence coach, Reiki master, meditation facilitator, and writing for well-being mentor. I work with women who've spent their entire lives saying yes when they meant no, because no felt too scary, because how they've been brought up and how they've been conditioned. And so we're here today to learn what those yeses really do to you and why they will never be reciprocated. So you say yes, and you say yes time and time again. You're worn out, you're exhausted, your calendar is full, your laundry mountain is ever growing. You could charge for an expedition up it, and yeah, your ironing pile, well, yeah, I mean, you think the laundry pile is bad? There's dishes from this morning still needing to be washed. There's posts to be dealt with. There's bills that need to be paying. There's that friend you haven't texted back. And you may even have work outside the home with an equally large to-do list. And yet you find yourself saying yes to somebody else's request for a favour. Yet again. Because this isn't the first time they've asked, is it? They keep asking. And you keep saying yes. And you keep saying yes because there's a teeny tiny little part of you that thinks if you say yes often enough, they will finally see you. They will acknowledge you. They will see how much you do for them and how far you go out of your way for them. How much you are expressing your love for them by doing these favours. And that teeny, teeny little part of you is hoping that one day they'll return the favour. One day they'll come in and say, hey, put your feet up, I've made you a cup of tea. Or, how about I give you a lift today? Or, what can I do for you today? But I can assure you, from experience, hard personal experience, that very rarely happens. And it's got nothing to do with you, really, who you are as a person. It says nothing about how lovable you are or how worthy you are. But it does say something about how you've trained people. Because your conditioning has told you, you need to be the good girl. You need to serve. And this is for women of all ages, but particularly those in middle age. You will have been brought up to be seen and not heard. Helping out with the family. You know, laying the table, cleaning up afterwards, washing the dishes, helping your mother with the laundry, while your brothers probably did very little. Because that's just the way it was. But it's not how it has to be now. You don't have to pick up the pieces for everybody else. And maybe as a child and as a teenager, when you were doing those things, you might have got the odd thank you that maybe made it feel worthwhile. And maybe sometimes if you were doing chores with a sibling or with your mother or whatever, it felt like a joint activity, so it felt like you were included in something. But as you grow up and you begin to take on all those chores for everybody else, and you're doing it on your own without the gratification of being thanked for it or acknowledged for it, without the support of others or other people pitching in to help out too, it can feel very lonely, and you can build up a lot of resentment. But because of the good girl conditioning, because that's how you've been brought up, to serve, to say yes, to never speak up, to never share your opinions, to never say no, because you never dared to say no. What you've actually done is you've trained the people around you to expect a yes. And that's not your fault, because that's how you've been brought up. Because you were never taught that your voice was worthwhile. You were never taught that you could say no, that your needs mattered just as much as everybody else's. And they do. If you need to rest, if you need reciprocation, if you need gratitude for what you're doing, acknowledge that. Acknowledge it deeply. Take a moment to just close your eyes, put your hand on your heart center, take a deep breath in, and ask what you need right now. And just let whatever bubbles up, bubble up. Don't question it. Just breathe into it. Just allow it to sit. It might feel uncomfortable if it's the first time you've ever sat with and acknowledged your own needs. And that's okay. But the more you do this, the easier it becomes. And now that we've taken a moment to acknowledge what you might need, so whether that's rest, whether it's gratitude, whether it's reciprocity, now you need to find a way of getting that, a way of voicing that need, of saying to somebody else, perhaps a friend that you go somewhere every week. Maybe it's the gym, swimming pool, maybe it's a book club, and you're always picking them up and taking them. Maybe it's time you turned around and said, I drive us every week. I'm really tired today. Do you think you could drive us this week? The answer might be no. They might decide not to go, because they have to drive. And that's okay. That says nothing about you. And you might feel bad for standing up for yourself, for voicing your own needs, for asking for something because you've never done it before. And that's okay. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you say no, or the more you sit quietly and listen to what you need. Acknowledge those needs and learn to voice them. The easier those no's get. Because when you address your own needs, when you are feeling acknowledged, when you're feeling that people appreciate you, when you feel fulfilled because you are addressing your needs as well, you actually have more to give. A lot of the resentment that you might feel, a lot of the bitterness, even a lot of the stress and the anxiety that comes with having a full to-do list will dissipate. Because when you can come from a place where you have love and you have space to give, rather than always running on empty, Because if you're constantly saying yes, when actually you really mean no, and you're secretly hoping that those yeses will turn into something for you, then you are running on empty. You're running on resentment. You're running on bitterness. And that leads to more stress and more anxiety. When we're running on empty, our thoughts often turn to the negative. And that's not something we actually mean to do. It's just something that happens when we're tired, when we're stressed, when we're feeling empty. Our thoughts are going to be slightly more negative. At least that's my experience. So we've looked at acknowledging your needs. We've looked at voicing them. And we need to look at fulfilling them. So if you've asked your friend for a lift to the book club and she says no, she's not going to give you a lift. You then need to decide whether going to the book club by yourself will fulfill a need for you. Is that something that you actually need this week? Or can you give it a miss? Will you only go every other week and take your friend maybe on that week? Or will you go some weeks and not take your friend because she won't reciprocate? That sounds horrible, doesn't it? It sounds really selfish. But believe me, it's not. Because what you have actually done so far is trained your friend to expect you to take them every single week. All you're doing now is resetting those expectations. You're saying, I'm not your taxi driver. I'm not here for you all the time. If you can't be here for me, then I can't be here for you all the time either. Because relationships are about reciprocity, aren't they? It's not that we really expect something back, but you deserve something back. You deserve more than being treated like somebody's taxi driver or dishwasher or housekeeper or whatever it is. You deserve more than that. You deserve to be looked after, to be cared for, just as much as the other person. You deserve a lift to book club every now and again so you don't have to drive in the dark and the rain. Let that sink in for a moment. How does that feel? To know deep down in every bone, every cell of your body that you too are deserving. That might hit hard. I know it did for me. There was a little part of me that fought that off. A little part of me that didn't want to feel deserving. Because if I felt deserving, then that meant I actually had to do something about it. That if I deserved reciprocity, if I deserved to be given a lift somewhere, then I probably needed to ask for it. And that was the scary bit for me. The voicing of my own needs. The saying to other people, I need this too. I need this from you. That, for me, was the scary bit. I'd love to know if any of this resonates for you. I'd love to know which bit feels the most scary for you. Pop it in the comments or pop me a private message if that feels too scary for you today. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next episode of the Unburdened Woman podcast.